So, one of my favorite game franchises is Super Smash Bros., and it greatly saddens me that I can't speak about it without garnering a negative aura around it. It's a shame, really, with all the ungratefulness and toxicness within the community. Ever since 2020, this game has been dragged through the mud, and that makes me incredibly depressed. I want to look back at the positives of this franchise and tell my piece of how great it is without this looming negative aura around it. So, if you will, let's look back at my favorite moments in Smash Bros. History before I dive into why it's so toxic and sad nowadays. So, I was born in 2001, the same year as when the game Super Smash Bros. Melee was released. Obviously, I didn't crawl out of my crib to play this game, as entertaining of a sight that would be. The first game in the franchise I ever owned was actually the Wii title, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I got this game around when it came out, actually. I saw it on the shelves and picked it up because it had Pikachu and Mario on it. Blew my mind that both of these characters were in the game. Let me tell you, not knowing about the competitive scene at all, it made this game amazing. This was the game that introduced me to Kirby, The Legend of Zelda, Pikmin, and a bunch of other stuff. I think this may sum up my favorite part of this game, honestly. Not the gameplay, not the competitive fighting action. My favorite part is the crossover, the mashing of worlds. My poor brain could not fathom Luigi meeting Jigglypuff, you know? Playing this game was a blast, unlocking video game characters I had never heard of. Oh, and imagine my surprise when Sonic the freaking Hedgehog was unlocked, one of the few characters my baby brain had heard of before. I recognized the blue boy, and I was like, oh, Sonic. Of course, I can't recall when the Mario and Sonic Olympic Games first came out, so maybe the concept of Mario vs. Sonic wasn't as wild for everyone else at the time. I also believe that the music of this game helped me become so involved in my love of music, that I have currently. Like, half of my playtime as a kid when I had this game was listening to, the sound check in it. Listening to the Kirby music is probably how I got interested in the Kirby franchise in the first place. And being honest here, there's so much good Kirby music that has never graced the Smash series. It's kind of tragic. I loved how one song would transition into another recognizable song sometimes in some of them. And that heavily inspired my music writing today, where I hide past songs in my current songs. Wow. I could continue to gush about the trophies or the amazing story mode more, or, the music. But the takeaway here is this. This game made me a Nintendo fan. It showed me all of Nintendo's hits and let me explore far more games Nintendo had to offer. Yeah. It was Nintendo's greatest advertisement, ever. Skip ahead, years later when Smash 4 had its first reveals, I was nearing the end of elementary school on the edge of high school. By then I had played Animal Crossing, enjoyed Skyward Sword, owned many Kirby games. I even played a bunch of obscure Nintendo games at this point because I was getting interested. I really liked the game Kid Icarus Uprising. That'll come back later. Basically, I had gone back and played a bunch of Nintendo's catalog from older games, like the NES, SNES, good old GameCube. So when people started guessing who was going to be in the next Smash Bros., I discovered a new fun aspect to this franchise, the speculation. Seeing how Animal Crossing and Wii Fit series now had playable characters, I knew any Nintendo character could get in. And even more exciting, Mega Man truly opened the door to any video game character from anything coming into this game. So without any proof, I dropped a thing. Without any proof at all, here's characters I guessed would get into the game. I wasn't a very smart person, but I did get a few. So here's my official list right here, shuffling fake paper. I guessed Little Mac would be in the game, which, what do you know, he was. Dixie Kong. That didn't happen. Chibi Robo. Chibi Robo. I'm so sorry, dude. Palutena, Shulk, Waddle Dee, and Skull Kid. So, I got a few there. I'm still waiting for Waddle Dee, but that won't happen. Shulk is probably the most surprising one I actually guessed, because at the time, Xenoblade was, super obscure. And I'm going to set a precedent right here. Precedent. Gotta get that pronunciation. Let me pronounce pronunciation. Oh my god. There has never been a character I disliked in Smash Bros. Ever. I know that's actually, surprisingly, a slightly controversial take, but everyone seems to have that one character they wish would die in the fiery pits of hell. Sometimes it's a whole franchise. I'll address Fire Emblem. I'll get to that soon, don't worry. The first major new character I was around for that got announced was Rosalina. Now, Mario Galaxy was another defining game I played in my youth, and Rosalina seemed like such a cool character. Everyone I talked to seemed excited about her too. Those were the days when people were all happy for a new character. The hype of a new character showing up on the website was unreal. Like, wow! Look, it's Diddy Kong! He looks so cool! Flash forward to the E3 reveals. For once, I felt like characters were being picked almost like directly to me. Like, he looked at me and was like, you. Many people didn't, like, not many people talked about Kid Icarus as Uprising, so seeing the Kid Icarus anime fight like trailer with the new voice actors was so cool. 2 characters in the stage based on Kid Uprising was super cool. And like, I felt like I was being targeted directly because I really liked that game. I'm going to delve more into how obsessed with how cool this reveal process was and how obsessed I was. Is that okay with you? Well, I guess it is because you're still watching. Okay, picture this. I was on a summer trip with my grandfather. No internet. None. I was shaking in my boots, wondering, did they announce anything while I've been gone? I need to check the Smash Bros. Website. What if they announced, I don't know, Dixie Kong? So, on our trip, Grandpa and I went to a McDonald's. Here's a McDonald's cup. There you go. I have a McDonald's cup here. And I stole his iPad, connected to the McDonald's internet, and I was like, oh boy, I wonder if there's anyone new. And there was. I look at the iPad and I see Lucina and Robin. Oh no, Fire Emblem, gross. That is what a lesser person would say. Would you believe people used to be excited about Fire Emblem characters in Smash? That's crazy. Keep in mind, at this time, our other Fire Emblem characters were Marth and Ike, who I didn't really know about, even though I had been diving into Nintendo culture at the time. So I had no idea who Robin and Lucina were, but I thought they looked cool, so you know what I did? I bought myself a copy of Fire Emblem Awakening, and guess what? I loved it. One of my favorite 3DS games to this day. Here's a phrase you won't hear for a while. I was a Smash Bros. Fan who got into Fire Emblem from Smash Bros. I am apparently the rare fan who both likes Smash Bros. And Fire Emblem. And let me tell you, seeing a character's moves in a game feels way cooler when you've played their other game. Their attention to detail is great. Now that I've played Awakening, my hype for this Smash Bros. Is even greater because now these characters, I grew to love them, and now they were coming into my favorite game. And after a while of waiting, the game came out. I thought it was great and amazing. I slowly began to understand the idea of what competitive play was too. I wasn't in it for that though. Now, I have a wide understanding of what most of these characters and what their legacies were. I had formed some kind of bond with like most of the cast. I had played most of their games. Anyways, I was fine with this game. I was loving it. I claimed it was perfect. I loved the crossover. And then they announced DLC. So, once upon a time, DLC for Smash Bros. Was unheard of. And they used it to bring back Mewtwo, a character I never got to try because I've played Smash Bros. Melee like once in my life, and I played Yoshi. That was a blast. It made me excited for more news. Smash Bros. Kept bringing back old characters like Lucas and Roy. Oh no, another Fire Emblem character, gross! Hey, here's a fun fact. They brought Roy back because fans wanted him back. Melee fans wanted him back specifically. People were so happy when Roy and Lucas came back, but that's when the big DLC happened. See, we were only expecting old characters to come back. Our world was shaken when Ryu from Street Fighter, the biggest fighting game ever, joined the roster. How could they top that? They couldn't. And then came Cloud's Strife. This crossover game was extending past just Nintendo now. Even as a Nintendo fanboy, I knew the legacy of Ryu and Cloud. Having Cloud fight Mario, that's the stuff I loved about this game. The crossover, the worlds colliding. Smash Bros. Still had 2 more DLC characters though. This is where the negativity sadly starts entering my life around this game. My innocent baby shield was going to meet the toxic fans. However, at this time, these toxic fans feel very tame compared to current times. And they weren't necessarily wrong. They made valid points and weren't terribly toxic. let's talk about Corrin and Bayonetta.
This way!
Big brother? He's my brother!
We're your family.
The final two DLC characters. Corrin was yet another Fire Emblem character. This franchise, with really only one well-known game in the West, was now rivaling Mario and Pokemon in terms of characters, beating out more iconic series like Kirby or Zelda. This was a character for a game not even out yet, so no one had much of an attachment to them and seemed more like an ad for many people. People thought they were a waste of a slot, a term that gets thrown around way too much nowadays. Then there was Bayonetta. She was received better, as she was apparently the player's choice somehow. Well, she was well received at first. Thanks, Bayonetta, for introducing the concept of tier lists to me. I probably don't have to tell you this, but Bayonetta, she was considered God tier. Best character in the game. Broken. Period. The whole meta of the game changed upon her arrival. Competitive players complained non-stop about her and said that the game was ruined and terrible because of her. Having just stepped into what competitive even was, I was bummed. People were suddenly disliking my new favorite game because of the characters, my favorite part of the game. In honesty, Fire Emblem Fate's not that bad. Honestly, in my opinion, it's heavily flawed and it's shadowed by Smash Bros. A lot. That's why it's got such a negative distinction. And of course, it's got flaws, but I like some of the characters and the music. Music's really good. Go listen to the soundtrack if you haven't. It's really good. Though out of all the Fire Emblem games I've played, it's probably at the bottom. Granted, I haven't played terribly much Fire Emblem, but it's there. Anyways, go listen to that soundtrack. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'm serious. Go do it. Okay, you back? Okay, welcome back. To this day, I've never played a Bayonetta game. I want to, though. So, this strange character that made everyone mad, I had no connection to. And yet, I still liked her. I just thought she was cool, and honestly, I was grateful we had gotten more characters to play with. However, neither Brawl nor Smash 4 is my favorite Smash Bros. Game. I like the crossover aspect of the series, so naturally, the one entry with the biggest and most groundbreaking crossovers would be my favorite. So naturally, let's talk about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Okay, so the hype for this game was real. We simply got a teaser that teased Splatoon would be joining the roster, and well, I was a Splatoon fan, so this was hype. However, this Splatoon hype, it was babyish compared to the next trailer. Ever hear of something called Everyone is Here? Yeah, the internet exploded pretty much. This is what I wanted for so long, a game that had every single Smash Bros. Character back. Yes! On top of announcing Daisy, they said Ridley was going to be playable, possibly the most requested Smash Bros. Character ever. This was the game for the fans. Almost no one was mad. Overwhelmingly positive feedback and hype. And yet, something dark festered. I remember watching Reaction Trailer, because I was into watching everyone react to Everyone Was Here. And I don't remember, it was just a group of random people. I'm not going to dox them even if I remembered. But, I remember watching Reaction Trailer, and these people, when Sonic showed up on the screen, a bunch of people booed and said that the game was ruined just because Sonic was back. Obviously, it was in a joking matter, but it nagged me. Did I play Sonic? No. Am I the biggest Sonic fan? Not the most, no. Yet when people wanted Sonic gone, an iconic character that was part of the cast for so long, it made me hum. Every character deserved to be in this game, whether it was Sonic or Dark Pit. Everyone was important to the legacy of Smash. Sakurai, the creator of the game, had worked himself terribly hard to ensure every character would get in. But at the same time, I guess it's a tad toxic of me to say you're not allowed to hate characters, because everyone's allowed their opinions, but he did work hard to get every character in, even if you didn't like them. You gotta respect that he worked hard to get that character in. Regardless of this, everyone seemed hyped, and then they announced the next 5 characters in one sitting. First off, Castlevania characters, another requested franchise joining in. Then they brought in Dark Samus, not as highly as requested, but people wanted her in too, so it was cool. I thought Dark Samus was cool, I play her a lot. And then they brought back Chrom. Oh no, Fire Emblem, gross! Yet another blue-haired anime sortie was coming into the game. There was some negativity here, but Chrom was added because so many fans wanted him in. He was so close to being put in the last time that it felt necessary, and honestly, I was Team Chrom. Fire Emblem Awakening is still one of my favorite 3DS games. So, people had little time to complain anyways because one of the other most highly requested characters was added, King K. Rool. This was probably the peak of the positive hype here. So many fan favorites were added to this ultimate game. It seemed the community overlooked the Fire Emblem character. Isabelle was announced. It was welcomed passively, with some people really happy. I had wanted Isabelle too, so I was pleased. The game was getting closer and closer to coming out, but the fans wanted more. They wanted more fan favorites. Hey, side note here, one part of the fandom was actually not happy with the game at all, that I forgot about. Fitting considering what character this community wanted. The Waluigi fans. Most of them are innocent people who just enjoyed the character and wanted him in. And that's fine. I'd be happy if he was in. But some people said they would not buy the game if he wasn't added in, and that the game was bad without him. That rubbed me the wrong way a bit, but it was their decisions. The Waluigi fans were the loudest, but many other small character groups started popping up demanding their characters to be in. Like the Isaac fans, the Shadow fans, Skull Kid fans, Banjo and Kazooie fans, etc. They all seemed to unite when the Grinch leak happened. The Grinch leak is a whole other topic within itself, but basically, it was an unbelievably convincing supposed leak of the roster, which included all the characters I just mentioned. So many people thought it was true, including me. So they went into that final trailer believing their fan favorites would finally be in the game. The first character shown in the trailer was Ken from Street Fighter, which the leak had predicted. Things were looking good up until Incineroar appeared. Fire Tony the Tiger had not been in the leak, which means it was debunked. This meant so many people who thought their favorite character was in had their hopes crushed. The last character would be some fire furry. A lot of people were upset, and to top it all off, they announced one more bonus character that seemed to mock them, Piranha Plant. Personally, I like these characters, and a lot of other people do too. It's not even the game's fault for disappointing people here though. It was the damn Grinch leak that got everyone's hopes up. Anyway, the game came out shortly after, and despite that last part, many people heavily enjoyed it. It's a really good game, and well, its roster is just amazing. Honestly, it's my favorite one. It pleases the casual and the competitive. Its online is admittedly flawed. Lots of people have grievances with it, but the anger for it only really flourished in 2020 when it was the only way to play with friends. But before 2020 and its initial launch, there wasn't that much negativity. In fact, somehow there was more hype. How?
A card this time. In fact, we've been invited. Invited to steal the greatest treasure of all.
Why, Joker from Persona 5, I guess. I thank God for this DLC pick. It introduced me to Persona 5. Go play it. Actually, let's dive a bit more. Before Joker and Smash, I actually did know of Persona 3 and 2. I listened to their music a lot. But getting Persona 5 simply it led me down the rabbit hole properly. And it seems it happened to many others too. Regardless, this first DLC was incredibly well received. The next was a double announcement. The Dragon Quest Heroes and Banjo and Kazooie. Here's where the toxicity is truly born, by the way. A lot of people groaned at another anime sword fighter. Lots of people didn't want Dragon Quest. They didn't know what it was, and was mad at the wasted slot. I have an uncle who's a major fan of Dragon Quest, so I knew of it pretty well and wasn't very surprised by the announcement. Plus, it's really huge in Japan, so this just added to the size of this crossover, which is what I like about this game. However, here in the West, Banjo and Kazooie were the ones that were beyond huge. This character was just as requested as Ridley and King K. Rool. People were ecstatic for this. I was happy too. Yet, nowadays, I see a lot of people complain about him and wish he wasn't in simply because he's annoying to fight against. that's incredibly sad considering how long it took us to get this character. Next was Terry. I heard many a waste of slots here too. He wasn't very widely known and just another Street Fighter character, a phrase repeated for our most recent DLC character. However, the negativity grew really harsh with the next character. Here's some context. I had this list of characters I wanted for DLC. There was 5 of them. So I'm going to list it to you. Here you go. My picks were Waddle Dee, Sora, Steve, Gino, and Byleth. I had played Three Houses and thought it was amazing. And it is! Go play it! I wanted some representation in Smash. Lo and behold, Byleth is announced and is set to come out on my birthday. Awesome, right? Then I learned the entire internet disagrees with me. I got slammed for enjoying Three Houses, one of, if not the best Fire Emblem game, because Byleth was in Smash Bros. It was heartbreaking to see so much hate for a character I really wanted. Though, I do see where they're coming from a bit. All the DLC before Byleth were non-Nintendo characters. There was already so many Fire Emblem characters, but I guess that's not as big of a deal as me. What? I don't know. Anyway, you're entitled to have your opinion. There is a lot of Fire Emblem characters. I will not fight that. And 4 of them are playing almost exactly like each other. Which is, yeah, I see that. I get this. You're allowed to dislike the character, but sending hate mail to the creator or anyone who likes the character, that's not cool. A certain virus started up shortly after, and this really kicked the game a lot. The next DLC was delayed because of this for a while. Smash tournaments were cancelled because we couldn't physically go attend them, and they were turned to online only. Nintendo around this time was also making some scummy moves, specifically one incident regarding Super Smash Bros. Melee, which ever since then Nintendo has actually been in sketch territory ever since. People are kind of wary of Nintendo, which they've made some mistakes, but I still like them. But I got a critical eye on you, Nintendo. Many iconic and prolific Smash Bros. Characters were canceled for being that sucked a lot, and like it was a lot of them too. The last bit of the Smash Bros. Community was suffering, really. The last bit of content they had gotten before all this dry period and terrible things happening was Byleth, a character a lot of people did not like, and that was their content for a while. Yeah. At this point, it seems like Ultimate isn't very loved and cherished anymore. It seems like a hated game that the fans disliked. This is terrible because Sakurai made this game as a love letter to the fans. This may be his last game he ever works on regarding Smash Bros. And that sucks. Honestly, it's probably stressful. So much work and so many ungrateful fans. It's just like, I feel bad. Even I'm a bit selfish. I really wanted Waddle Dee, but can't have what we want. We just have to accept what we get and be grateful that we're even getting it, you know? Finally, Min Min rolls out, and many people dislike her too. Recently I saw a poll of least favorite new Smash DLC, and she beat out Byleth, so yikes. Personally, I think she's cool, but admittedly I haven't played her much. I was worried if anyone else on my list would be announced for this game, since my other character garnered so much hate. If you recall, a certain blocky man was on my list. Steve broke the internet. I believe, didn't he crash Twitter when he was announced? I saw a lot of hype for him, which was a relief since the last 2 characters were viewed as duds. Honestly, Steve has probably helped the resurgence and the interest for Smash Bros, so good for him. Lots of people complained about Steve, of course, but for the most part, I think the hype went out. I love this character. Good character. Moving on to the next. Sephiroth was such a cool announcement also. Like, his trailer is probably my favorite out of all of them. Another Final Fantasy character was very welcome. But of course, people were mad again. Another anime sword fighter. So many people don't realize that Sephiroth is up there with Bowser and Ganondorf for iconic video game villains. Shame on them. Sephiroth's a good character. Moving on to the next one. Next was Mythra and Pyra from Xenoblade 2. Lots of people were mixed on this. Not one anime sword fighter, but two anime sword fighters. People complain that they're boring Nintendo characters and they're bland and too overpowered. At this point in Ultimate's life, in order to enjoy it, you just have to ignore people who dislike the characters, because it's hard to play the game without someone complaining about the game, you know? I miss the days when people were like, Ridley's in? I'll join this game no matter who's in it. I'll never ask Sakurai for anything again. I wonder where that mindset went. Kazuya recently came out, and people complained they didn't want another Street Fighter-esque character. Despite him being a Tekken, which is super different. And I'm just tired. Community has been built just to despise whatever happens to this game, which makes me sad. People seem to focus on the negative rather than the positives. Even me. I set out originally to talk about my favorite things about this game, but as we progressed more and more into the future, I just had to address the negativity attached to all of my favorite things about this game, and that makes me sad. I miss the times when I could just chat about Smash Bros. Without some negative aspect being brought up. It's sad. I think every character in this DLC is a good addition to the game. I don't think Byleth is a waste and deserves their spot. Same with Min Min, same with Pyra and Mythra, same with Hero and Terry. You're allowed to not like a character, but allow others to like them, and don't hate Sakurai for trying to bring us the ultimate Smash Bros. Surely he has added at least one thing you like to this game, because this is the ultimate combination of every previous entry. And if you don't like Ultimate, then I don't think you like Smash Bros. Enough about the negativity. I'm excited to see who the final character is. Even if it is like a Fortnite character, I'll find a way to enjoy it. Because even if I don't like Fortnite or whatever series gets in, I'm sure someone does. Regardless of the dark aura around this game, I still think it's the best Smash Bros. Game. Honestly, I don't really think there's a bad one. I mean, there's ones with flaws, obviously, but I don't think any of them are bad. But, hey, what's your favorite Smash Bros. Game or character? What's your least favorite? Let's respect everyone's opinions and have a non-toxic conversation. Because I long for the days where I could talk about this game without toxicity. Anyways, I'm KLM Does Stuff. I've never done a video like this before, but I mostly make music here. You can subscribe if you really want to, but I probably won't post anything terribly interesting on this channel. But if you want to see, or I guess hear me talk more, because I have such a great voice, I play games like Let's Plays of Minecraft and Pokemon on my other channel called Syndicate of a Group of Gatherings with my friends. So if you want to see me play games, I'm there. And if you wish to hear more of this voice, I guess, do I ask you to like the video? I might do more talky things, I don't know, about video games or TV shows. I don't really like talking about negative things, per se. It's just, Smash Bros. Was a dear thing to me, and I like it a lot, so it makes me sad that so much negative stuff has happened. So if I ever do a talky talk, I might just call these talky talks. If I ever do just a talky talk thing like this again, I'll probably talk about some of my interests instead. But, I guess thanks for watching, and toodles! Oh, I wonder if I broke the sound barrier. I don't know. Ooh.